All right, tonight I'm going to share with you my top 10 training techniques to stimulate massive muscle growth, shock your muscles, and overcome any training plateaus. Okay, so the very first technique we're going to go over is called supersets, trisets, and quad sets. This is where we're pairing 2 exercises together, 3 exercises together, or 4 exercises together, back to back to back. So, let's do it. All right, so we just went from pull-ups to bent over rows to one-arm rows to dumbbell pullovers. So that right there is an example of a quad set where we're going straight through 4 exercises, back to back to back, no break. So all those exercises are concentrated on the back. You could also just do a superset, which would be pull-ups to bent over rows, or you could do a triset, which would be pull-ups, bent over rows to one-arm rows. You can mix and match supersets, trisets, and quad sets. Absolutely annihilate the muscle group. All right, so training technique number 2 to stimulate massive muscle growth is what we call drop sets. So drop sets are where we're working up to our heaviest weight and then doing as many reps as we can until we hit failure, dropping the weight by 30%, as many reps as we can until we hit failure again, dropping the weight by another 30% until we hit failure again, and there's no more weight on the bar. So drop sets, we're working the muscle fibers to their absolute maximum, hitting failure every time, and tearing those muscles down. So we're gonna be doing shrugs today. Take the 25s off. Minimal rest, going straight into it for our first drop set. All right, we're hitting failure again. One more drop set here. No rest. Back in, baby. Really want to annihilate, you take the 45s off. Woo! Throw one more 25 on. And get one more round in right here. And again, we're going to complete muscle failure. So that is an example of a drop set that we can use in almost any exercise. And it's one of my favorite things to add in to any workout, especially our big lifts, bench press, shrugs, overhead press, squats. They will annihilate you. Training technique number 3 to make sure we're blasting through any plateaus is what I call 10 by 10s. So this is where we're doing 10 rounds of 10 reps with 100 reps total, with about 30 to 60 seconds breaks in between each set of 10. So we're doing moderate to heavy weight here. The first 3 to 5 rounds should be not too hard, and then the 5 to 7 rounds we should get an insane pump, and in rounds 7 through 10 we should just be dying. So an example would be shoulder press here. We're hitting 10 dumbbell overhead shoulder presses. Taking about a 30-second to 60-second rest depending on how fatigued you are at the time. Waiting. We're gonna be going straight back into this movement. Another set of 10. Another 30 to 60-second break right here. Repeating that for 10 rounds and just hitting that muscle group until complete exhaustion. So, training technique number 4 is pyramid sets. Pyramid sets involve starting at a light weight with higher reps and gradually increasing the weight and lowering the reps. So pyramid sets are amazing because we are working both endurance as well as strength here, which is going to be hitting all the different types of muscle fibers that you have in your body, your type 2 as well as your type 1. So as an example, we're going to be going into reverse lunges here. Starting nice and light. Usually if I'm doing a pyramid, I'm going to be starting with about 12 to 15 reps of the body part we're working. So on this exercise, I'll be going for about 12 reverse lunges on the right, and then 12 reverse lunges on the left side here. Okay, let's say that is 12. We're gonna rack this weight, and then you have the option to either add in another leg exercise as a superset, take a little longer break, or if we're hitting this on its own, we're gonna take about a minute break. Then we're gonna go up by about 20 to 30%, and we're gonna be decreasing the rep ranges by about 2 to 4 reps each time. So every time we go up, we're gonna be dropping these reps down. So instead of 12 per leg, we're gonna be going down to about 8 reps per leg. Next round, adding more weight on, going down to 6 reps per leg. Another round, 4 reps per leg. Last round, 2 to 4 reps per leg. So as it's increasing, we are decreasing our reps here. And usually I like to hit about 4 to 5 sets as we're working up. And then when we end the pyramid set, it's always a good idea to do a drop set like we went through in the beginning. So taking the weight off, and then one last set, going into reverse lunges here until we hit complete failure. And it's one of my very favorite training techniques to use. Do it every single week with almost every single body part. Number 5 is what is called accommodating resistance. Accommodating resistance is the use of chains or bands to make sure that the athlete is accelerating through the whole range of motion, and it's helping us get through our sticking points that we have on our lifts here. So what this band or chain is going to do is it is going to make my body be able to absorb more force, because this weight, when I'm lifting it, it is going to decelerate faster than if there was no band or resistance on that bar. So we're absorbing the force, therefore it's going to create more explosiveness in our body. It's also going to make sure that when we're lifting, we're having to exert the same amount of force throughout the whole lift, and we have the same amount of tension on this lift, which is going to create a ton of explosiveness. So when you're doing band work or chain work, you can work through a wide variety of strength levels. Basically, the thicker the band, the harder it's going to be, the more explosiveness you're going to need in that lift. Okay, so training technique number 6 is what is called or referred to as time under tension. So the amount of time that your muscles are under tension and contracting. So the longer your muscles are contracting and actually under tension, the more stimulation they're going to be getting, which is going to result in more muscular development. So we don't just always have to lift heavier weights, but we can work on the amount of tension and the time under tension our muscles are receiving. A little bit more advanced way to do this is a single isometric hold, where, let's say for bicep curls, we are coming up to a fully contracted position. We're going to be holding that with one arm, repping about 5 reps with the opposite arm, and then switching, but we are never letting go of this contraction here. And this is going to keep maximum tension on the muscles and result in maximum muscular development. Okay, training technique number 7 is 100 rep sets. If you haven't done 100 rep sets, you're not living. Like, I don't even know what to tell you right now. You're not living life. So 100 rep sets is exactly what it sounds like. You're gonna pick a weight for whatever exercise you wanna target, and we're trying to get 100 reps in a row without stopping, okay? Now, it is okay to stop. The maximum time we wanna put the bar down is 3 rest periods for no longer than about 15 to 30 seconds maximum, okay? So you're gonna wanna go light. I usually like to put these at the end of one of my heavy sets. So for example, if we're doing shoulder press here, we're gonna go until complete failure, trying to get to as close to 100 as possible. Let's say I hit failure at 30, I'm gonna put it down. Whew. I'm gonna stretch it out real quick, take some deep breaths, rest only about 15 to 30 seconds, and we're going straight back into it for that remaining 70 reps or whatever we have left. But try to hit the 100 reps in no less than 3 rest periods. Training technique number 8 to increase your muscular development is adding plyometrics to a heavy compound lift. So as an example, I love to pair high box jumps, explosive box jumps with heavy back squats. You're gonna increase your explosiveness. You're gonna also increase the stimulus your nervous system is getting, and your body is forced to create change. It's forced to get stronger, it's forced to get more explosive. So usually I'm gonna be lifting about 80 to 95% of my back squat 1 rep max here, somewhere between about 3 to 5 repetitions. After that, I'm gonna be going straight into explosive box jumps. Usually trying to go for a little bit more height than this, but starting on the ground, exploding straight up, back down, reset, explode, reset, explode, reset. With the explosive box jumps, when we're going for height, we're only going for about 5 to 6 repetitions, so we get maximal force out of the glutes, hammies, quads, and calf muscles. Training technique number 9 is what is called ascending sets. So this is where we're picking an exercise. In this case, we're gonna be doing goblet squats, and we're starting at a light weight for a predetermined amount of reps, and then each round, we're increasing the weight, but keeping the reps the same and trying to go for as long as possible. So I'm gonna start with the 40 here. Let's say the rep range we picked is 8 reps, 8 to 10 reps. Be hitting 8 to 10 reps. This goblet squat with the 40. Putting it down, going straight to the 50 for another 8 to 10 here. Going straight to the 60 for another 8 to 10. And then we're gonna continue this until we can't get the 8 to 10 anymore. And that's our ascending sets right there. So usually when you're doing your ascending sets, you're gonna wanna try to get somewhere between 5 to 10 rounds, okay? The more rounds we get, the more volume and the more stress we're putting on the muscles, which eventually is gonna create more change and more muscular growth. Ooh, all right, number 10, we're on number 10. So we're going through negative reps and eccentric movements. So what we're doing here is we wanna be working at about 80 to 85% of our 1 rep max and hitting about 5 to 8 reps on bench press until the failure point. As soon as I fail, my man Sean back here is gonna help me on the upward portion. So I'm gonna be lowering that bar as slow as I can, and then he's gonna help me on the upward. I'm gonna lower as slow as I can for about another 3 to 5 reps. This is working on lengthening the muscle fibers instead of contracting the muscle fibers. So it's gonna develop a lot of strength very quickly when we're working that that eccentric motion or the negative motion. Lightweight, baby.
Yeah.
All right, I hit failure. Now we're gonna work on the slow eccentric portion here as slow as I can. Sean's gonna help me explode up. Let's do 2 more. 1, 2. So we're going past failure, we're working that muscle group past failure, and by working that eccentric portion, the lengthening portion of the muscle fibers, you're gonna develop a lot more strength a lot quicker than just working the contraction portion of the lift. Those are my top 10 training techniques that I use during every single workout to make sure that I'm not hitting training plateaus and I'm stimulating the most muscle growth possible. So if you haven't tried some of these techniques, throw them into your workouts, try some drop sets, try some quad sets. You can always mix and match these different training techniques to get absolutely insane results, but it's gonna make sure that your workouts don't get stale and that your body keeps progressing. So thank you guys for watching. We got more content coming your way. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave those below.